Fall is here in full force. We're in October now. And you know what? The fall produce is here too. Coming up in this week's seasonal servings, we'll be stuffing acorn squashes with a filling that's got a little bit of a twist to it. This week's seasonal servings dives headfirst into fall. The autumn flavors are in full force with my stuffed acorn squash. Aside from the acorn squash, we'll use some other familiar fall flavors. Apples, pecans, and kale are paired with chorizo sausage for a sweet kick you can't help but fall for. I'll grab a few more ingredients and I'll meet you back in the kitchen shortly. Okay, all of the shopping is done, and I've even started to do some prep work for our chorizo stuffed acorn squash. This is something that's going to get us right into the fall season with some favorites. So in order to get started, I've already taken care of some of the acorn squashes. I've roasted them over. They're over here smoking, piping hot. They've just come right out of the oven. And in order to do what I did, this is pretty easy. All you have to do is heat an oven to 425 degrees. Have each acorn squash. You might have to put a little bit of muscle into it. Be very careful not to hurt yourselves. I magically somehow managed not to hurt myself, although arguably it got a little scary at times, so just be careful. But then afterwards, all you have to do is salt them, pepper them, hit them with olive oil, turn them over, and then put them in the oven. And depending on the size of the acorn squashes, you might need to cook them anywhere from 25 to 35 or so minutes. You can turn them over and check on them. If a fork goes through them, then that's how you know they're done. So that's it. Our acorn squashes, they're set aside. We're going to let them cool down. And now we're going to get to the mixture, the chorizo mixture. I mean, I guess technically we can call it a stuffing because that's what we're doing. So we start with some nice chorizo. Put it in, hear that sizzle already. And I chose chorizo for this because I thought it added an interesting and different element to our fall flavors here. My chorizo is fully cooked off. So what we're going to do, we can leave the grease in there. Fat is flavor. So I hear many sources say. I may or may not 135% agree with it. But we're going to put the chorizo aside. We're going to start with our onion. Throw that in, some salt and pepper because we season every layer with flavor. And it's going to soak up all the delicious chorizo fat, grease, yum. If you thought because we were stuffing acorn squashes that this was going to be healthy, that's not how I work sometimes. Okay, a lot of times. Then in go the apples. In will go our raisins just for an extra little pop of sweet. All right, I heavily debated this one, but we're going to add some greens to the mix here. This is probably about 2 to 3 cups of kale. I know some of us aren't kale fans, but when kale has bacon or chorizo or any type of sausage and you cook it down and you get some of that raw taste out of it, I think I can convince a lot of folks on this here. If not, you can skip it or replace it with spinach. You can skip this step, but give this a shot. And then you're just going to want to add the chorizo back in. It might be a little cool at this point, so we want to heat it back up. And then we'll let the kale continue to cook down and we'll finish this up. We'll take a break while this is happening, and then when I come back, we'll have the finished product. I'll show you how you put the finishing touches on this. We will stuff our acorn squashes, and then it's the best time ever. It's also going to be bite time. Welcome back to the Fox 43 kitchen, everyone. I am almost ready to assemble my stuffed acorn squash. It is stuffed with chorizo sausage to add a little bit of a different flavor to our fall ingredients. which include, of course, not just the acorn squash itself, but we also do have some apples in here. We also have pecans that we're about to top this with, and some kale too, just for a little bit of green. But in addition to our fall ingredients, I also do have some raisins in here just for that little extra pop of sweetness. All right, so I think our kale is almost cooked down to the point where I like it, and now we're going to add some very small, very tiny chopped pecans. And my acorn squashes are already ready to go. They've cooled, they're warm, not steaming or hot to the touch anymore, and if you time this perfectly, all you have to do is put this in and serve. And this is a fairly simple recipe to make too. I mean, I would say the hardest part about this is chopping up your apples, definitely chopping up your acorn squashes, and well, just putting the time for the acorn squashes to cook. I got my eye on this one right here. I think that one's gonna be mine. Look at that. Doesn't that look delicious? All right, favorite time, as always, bite time. Oh, look how soft that acorn squash is. I'm gonna get a little bit of all the filling. Yeah. Get my greens in. Trust me, you'll like kale a lot more when it's mixed in this way instead of in a salad. I have to say, I love all the flavors at play here. It is like a party in my mouth. You get the sweetness from the seasonal apples, of course, the onion and the raisins, but you also get a little bit of those fall greens from the kale in addition to some crunch from the pecans. And yes, the chorizo, which just brings its own flavor profile to the mix as well, in addition to the spice. The spice is what's really good with the sweet here and the creaminess of the softness of the acorn squash. It just all ties together so nicely. I'll be sure to get this recipe on our website, fox43.com. And if you have an idea or a seasonal ingredient you'd like to see me tackle, send me an email at aMichaels@fox43.com. And until we're back again in the Fox 43 kitchen, whipping up another seasonally inspired, delectable meal, be sure to keep eating with those seasons and experimenting, friends, and have fun, enjoy yourself too while you're doing it.